These rituals won't solve it. It requires the materials of its foundation. In our society, it is not that love marriages are rarely successful. Nowadays, love like it used to be has also changed. Dear viewers, welcome to our channel Nomad. Today, while going through Kindle, I found a recently published book with the name of The Shadow of the Soul. And I found this book quite interesting because it covers a variety of life experiences and questions that come to our mind. Today we are lucky enough to have the writer of the book, Mr. Jawad Gul, with us. Thank you, Jawad, for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
As you have been writing short stories and poems for quite a time, today we discuss about your book and how the idea of writing this book came to you.
As a huge art fan, I used to pour my heart out through stories and poems, but I always felt like I was expressing myself through a mask, characters or hidden symbols. There was this whole other side of me, a deeper well of thoughts and experiences that couldn't fit into short pieces. That's why this book is full of chapters about parts of my life I have never shared before. I felt it was time to put it all out there in a book for world to see.
Okay, so while going through your book, I found a very interesting chapter on love, and you know that this topic is of very common interest, and you have presented a unique angle of love that can start a new argument as well. So is it possible that people may not agree with you?
Yeah, well, it's not about someone agrees with me or not. I have never digested the prevailing definition of love because in my opinion, love is an experience that can never be same for two different people. Let me give you an example. Suppose even two persons who are in love with each other, they may not have the same experiences. They spend a lot of times together, but if you ask them individually, they will tell you different experiences and expressions of love from each other. It is not possible to apply someone else's mechanics to their journey of life.
Interesting. And yes, we agree that love is a very common topic and has been widely discussed, and there are different variations and experiences in love. While going through this book, I noticed that you have discussed many topics and tried to present your point of view. Some of the topics are very familiar and some are the topics that has never been questioned before. Why is that?
Well, I mentioned this book tackles a theme I have been grappling with for a long time. As you pointed out, some issues are quite direct, and even though I found some answers, they left me wanting for more. There are crucial questions no one seems to be asking. For instance, the human lifespan. Traditions feeds us stories of extended life, but I disagree. In my view, human lifespan haven't fundamental changes since our origin. It's just the improvement in living standards have pushed the boundaries.
Okay, that's great. And one specific topic that I have noticed, that is the possibility of assumption. That's quite sensitive topic because it challenges our society norms and the religious beliefs as well. Do you think that readers will be able to digest it?
Yeah. So, as I said, these are not the questions that arise at the level of subconscious, which are not being answered anywhere. So, it was more appropriate to bring them in a book to raise voice amongst those who follow this path. Now, I only cannot digest it. I too have been thinking about some concepts without digesting them despite of having literary or other interest. I have raised the question and I rest my case with my readers to decide.
Yes, that's interesting and you're absolutely right. But while going through this book, it seems that you seems to differ with every law of society and you are trying to challenge the normal laws of the society? And do you want to change it? Why do you want to change the laws of the society?
These issues I have raised are just tip of the iceberg. Look around and you will see same root cause to play in many problems. If anyone took a truly honest look at these underlying issues, it would naturally lead to change.
While the books were based on your experiences throughout your life, your childhood, adulthood, and current situations, and you have written somewhere in the book that the story is about path, not the destination. Can you elaborate what do you mean by this?
Yeah, from childhood, I was fond of reading books, and I considered the book at the final verdict. With the passage of time, I looked at the controversial books. I realized that there is a rebuttal to everything. Every argument has a particular point of view. It will be considered strong if it is supported a large group of people. A large group of people who hold some point of view is considered truth, and then a new group came up with new argument, having endless series of proof, and it goes on and on and on. So it's clear from this that there is no one has reached the destination so far.
Yes, you are right. It is an ongoing process and lot of discussion is needed to cover these topics. And to my surprise, I have noticed that you have written a chapter on E is equal to mc square. And you, as far as our discussion has gone, I have seen that you are a literary person and you are very fond of arts. So how come a literary person like you, who is associated with art, relates to the topic of E is equal to mc square?
Yeah, when I heard the theory of relativity for the first time, it seems like a discovery that would be helpful to running the world business. But as time went by, Albert Einstein became to seem more like a saint than a scientist. I always believed that science and art are two separate fields, but I realized at the quantum level both are same. It was a state when you feel like someone to no one, somewhere to nowhere. I always felt like somebody to nobody, real time to no time, all known to unknown. So all wrong to nothing wrong, all right to nothing right. It all depends on the subconscious of the frequency and the energy you are surrounded by. You are the source of consciousness in quantum field. Essentially, you have to come up with your own reality.
Yes, you are right. Metaphysics has now been widely discussed and these topics are main focus of the discussion. While going through book, I have realized that you have criticized human civilization on large. Don't you think that where man is today, it is the sign of the progress?
Have reached incredible height in the material world. We are constantly discovering new human capabilities, but for a long time we ignore the potential of metaphysics, a field that's only recently been accepted as a part of human experience. However, I don't see a similar evolution in our thinking. The fundamental question that plagues every teenager, where do we come from, remain the same. Unfortunately, the answers are often outdated, repeated, and limited to the specific school of thought.
As we have discussed so far, I have seen that you have discussed various topics, various experiences and the society laws, norms, religious beliefs. What do you think that by publishing this book, do you think will it bring any change in the society?
Well, transforming society takes centuries, and a single book cannot spark that kind of change on its own. My aim is to contribute to the conversation not to dictate revolution. Ultimately, whether my idea resonates with you is entirely up to you. This book is simply reflect my observation and understanding of the world during this one wild ride we call life.
Thank you, Mr. Jawad. So viewers, this was our discussion on recently published book Shadow of the Soul and question answer session with Mr. Jawad Gul. I'm sure that you will find it quite intriguing and will read the book on Kindle. In the last, I will just request you to like, share and comment on our YouTube page Nomad and keep visiting us for such videos.